So one thing that the right has consistently hammered the left on is, oh my God, you guys are anti-free speech, you guys are authoritarian, you guys are against the First Amendment, and they've positioned themselves as, who, me, bro? Me? I love free speech. I love the First Amendment. These crazy lefties are terrible. Well, you might be shocked, or not at all shocked, depending on how long you've watched the show for, to learn that Florida is actually leading the way with book bannings. What happened? I thought it was the left that was doing cancel culture and was against free speech, and what happened? I thought the authoritarians on the left were, they're canceling comedians and they're banning books, bro. We can't have that. All right, well, look at this. From Judd Legum. Florida teachers are being told to remove all books from their classroom libraries or face felony prosecution. What? The new policy is based on the premise that teachers are using books to groom students or indoctrinate them with leftist ideologies. You got to remove your library because you might indoctrinate the kids with facts and stuff. History. And like cute little books about ponies, bro. Can't have that. Like, what are we doing here? He continues. Officials from the Manatee County School District confirmed the new policy to Popular Info. The policy was communicated to principals in a meeting last Wednesday. Teachers are in the process of being informed now. Teachers in Manatee County lamented the news on social media. My heart is broken for Florida students today as I am forced to pack up my classroom library. Another Manatee teacher called the directive a travesty to education that interfered with efforts to connect with books and develop a love of lifelong learning. The new policy in Manatee, which is likely to be duplicated across Florida, was issued in response to HB 1467, which was signed into law by DeSantis last March. That law established that teachers could not be trusted to select books appropriate for their students. So this reminds me, I think it was this same guy here, Judd Legum, good reporter. He found that there was a book that was being banned in Florida. There was some psycho Christian lady who basically led the charge and was trying to get all these books banned. Any book that mentions race in any way, shape, or form. And Judd Legum found there's one of these books is like a story about a black girl who kind of overcame the odds and became a basketball player. And it's basically a story about how, like, treat everybody equally and, like, that's it. And they banned that book. Like, what are you guys even pretending at this point, right? Like, what is it? And I'm sure they would argue, like, we're just trying to get rid of stuff that we think is reverse racist, bro. It's like, well, what happens when there are instances of, we covered a story, a woman at a town hall, I don't know if it was in Florida, she was like, it's offensive that you taught my elementary school kid or middle school kid about Gandhi. So what do we have to do? We have to cater to the dumbest, most fringe people in society? Do we have to cater the entire educational system to people who are just maladjusted weirdos with extremist beliefs? Is that what we have to do? Apparently that is what they want to do in Florida. Judd continues here. Instead, all books in libraries or used in classroom instruction must be selected by a media specialist, aka a librarian. This means that classroom libraries that are curated by teachers, not librarians, are now illegal. It is illegal for a teacher to have their own library. The Manatee County School District is mandating that teachers make their classroom libraries inaccessible until they can establish that each book is approved by a librarian. Some teachers packed up their classroom libraries. Others covered up the books with construction paper. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Restoring student access to classroom libraries is a complex process. First, someone must... Okay, anyway, this goes on. You guys get the gist of it. Look, these people, like, they're actively against real education because they're afraid education is code word for leftist indoctrination. Like, how do you respond to that, right? How do you respond to that? I mean, there's some facts about the country that you're going to say, like, oh, there's a liberal bias on that. But this famous old Jon Stewart line or Stephen Colbert line, reality has a well-known liberal bias in some instances. Like, if you're going to teach about MLK, for example, you're going to teach he was a hero. Now, is that, a liberal bias or a lefty bias? Kind of, but it's also true, right? Like, the way these things should be taught is first you go dry, factual retelling of history, right? And you try to be as, I don't want to say neutral, because neutral is misleading sometimes, especially when there's an answer and it's not a neutral answer. Sometimes the truth is like black or white. You know what I'm saying? Like creationism versus evolution. Well, it's evolution. You know what I'm saying? So just give dry factual retelling. And then outside of that, yeah, people should discuss and disagree and have your ideas out there. And they're so scared of dissenting ideas from right-wing orthodoxy. So they're really telling on themselves here, because what they want is Republican indoctrination. That's what they want. They want right-wing indoctrination. And they will pretend as they're doing it, no, bro, we're just doing it the way it should be done. So just to remind everybody, this is an article in The Hill. This is for book bannings across the country. Texas came in first as the state with the largest number of book bans at 713. Followed by Pennsylvania with 456 bans, Florida with 204, Oklahoma with 43, Kansas with 30, and Tennessee with 16. Now, this is an outdated number. This was from April of 2022. There's been a report since then, which found Florida has surged into the number 2 position. There's about 800 books that have been banned in Texas. Now there's 600 that have been banned in Florida. Look, take it from me, man. Am I looking to ban, whatever books, just at a school library, right? This isn't even like, this is part of the curriculum, you must read it. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about school library, classroom library. Let's just, for argument's sake, let's say college level, high school level. Would I be looking to ban a Ben Shapiro book from that? No, I don't care. I don't care. Would I be looking to ban fill in the blank with any right-wing book? No. Because I actually believe in a free exchange of ideas. And I think the price of having the Noam Chomsky book in there, the price of having the Tom Hartman book is having the Ben Shapiro book in there. And that's called give everybody all their options and live and let live. And these people are against it. They're against it. Again, here's the final point. Just don't tell me you're a free speech warrior. Don't tell me that, your whole thing is the First Amendment. If you're a book banner, you can't tell me that. It's one or the other. Because the definition of authoritarianism is what we're looking at here. Just embrace it. I would love Ron DeSantis to come out and say, I'm an authoritarian. Then it's like, okay, we'll have an honest disagreement. But don't pretend like you're Mr. I love freedom, I love liberty. Ban 600 books. Ban those 600 books. Piss off. Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.